I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is February 24th, 2021, and we'll begin with our Commissioner's public statement read by Commissioner Jones.
We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear, and we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC.
Great, thank you so much. We have an agenda item to add in here, but there won't be a vote on it. So we're just going to go ahead and add it in. And it is the Emergency Management Appreciation Week in Monroe County. Commissioner Giffens?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to read this because of how important the emergency management department has been throughout this pandemic and even the recent snowstorms. Whereas the emergency management agencies are a vital public service to the communities of Indiana, the state of Indiana has recognized February 21st through 27th, 2021 as Emergency Management Appreciation. And whereas every emergency locally, from severe weather, flooding, and earthquakes, man-made disasters, and the COVID-19 pandemic, the Emergency Management Department helps to prevent, minimize, and repair the impact of natural and man-made disasters on people and property throughout Monroe County. And the Emergency Management Department drafts emergency response plans and develops training programs for first responders and community partners. And the theme of Emergency Management Appreciation Week this year is, quote, unified in emergency responses, unquote, which highlights the important work of the department to plan, communicate, and organize the county's response to an emergency, including first responders, public officials, social service organizations, schools, businesses, and residents. The Monroe County Emergency Management Department serves all residents of Monroe County and has provided a thoughtful, compassionate, and tireless response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is important for Monroe County residents to recognize the dedication and accomplishments of our Emergency Management Director, Allison Moore, and Deputy Director, Kate Petroline. Now, the Board of Commissioners of Monroe County, Indiana proclaim February 21st through 27th, 2021 as Emergency Management Appreciation Week. The board expresses its gratitude for our Emergency Management Department for their ongoing efforts to protect Monroe County residents every day, but especially for their work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Adopted this 24th day of February 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. People often don't realize that you're there and doing all these things until we have some horrible situation like a pandemic with a snowstorm on top of it. And then you become very noticeable and very appreciated.
What an honor. And I love that the theme this week is, or for this week, this year is unified, because we have such a wonderful unified approach, and the partners that we work with and collaborate with all work so well together to serve our community. So I appreciate the kudos, and it's such an honor that you guys would do this for our and recognize us. But we are only successful with our partners, and so it's just we're just very blessed here with the unified approach. So I thought it was very appropriate this year for, especially in the pandemic that we're in. So
thank you. Thanks for all you do, and thanks to Kate as well. Excellent. So now we will move on to our department updates. And first we have Ms. Cottle. Good morning.
Good morning. I am, if you see me put my mask on very quickly, I'm at the convention center right now. We have a little media day that we're doing this morning. And so I'm alone right now, but if somebody nears me, I will have to don this mask quickly. Uh, I think everybody probably knows that we had opened up eligibility yesterday to 60 and over. That includes, I think it's over 400,000 people are in that 60 to 64-year-old group in Indiana. And yesterday, in the first 3 hours, there were 63,000 people who scheduled appointments in that group. So we continue to have lots of interest in the vaccine, and we're very, very pleased with that. Um, I will say that when 211 opens up, and this is something I just learned, because of that influx and the great demand initially, 211 will schedule appointments. They do not complete the registration with that person. So that's something that either they need to go back in and do, or 211 can help them once things calm down a little bit. But that whole process over the phone can take like 20 minutes. And so they don't want to, you imagine if you have 63,000 people in 3 hours, you don't want to spend 20 minutes with everybody. So they get them scheduled, that's quick. And then if we need to finish the registration here, we can do that. The reason it takes so long over the phone is you have to read all of those consent forms to somebody so that they can sign off on them. So I had not really thought about that, to be perfectly honest. And so I wanted to share that information with people. And that may be something that we learned from those early times when people were stuck in waiting rooms for extended periods of time. This week, our metrics, we will remain in yellow in terms of advisory. Our numbers, our cases per 100,000 did drop below 100. So people will see that on that side of that map. And that, is good. That puts us in yellow in terms of cases per 100,000. With our low positivity rate, some people will see us in blue, but it does not mean that we do not have community spread. So we're watching that very closely. I am concerned that with those snow days where we had to close testing sites or limit, some places didn't close, but they drastically had to reduce, or just people couldn't get out, so they didn't come. So we saw a lot of reduction in testing. And if you're not testing people, you can't identify cases. So I'm cautiously optimistic, hoping that we won't see an influx of positives, but we could. The testing sites, their appointments are starting to rebound, so I think we'll get a clear picture about that. But I would just give some caution to folks that I don't quite know what next week will bring, and I've said all along I don't have a crystal ball. So we could be back in yellow next week, or we could stay where we are. So we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, it is no time to stop making plans for getting vaccinated, continuing to wear your masks, continuing to distance. Those two things, washing your hands, cleaning your hands, are going to be with us for quite some time. So please don't have any expectation of those things going away soon. We do not have plans to change our health regulations or health orders at this time, although we are looking at that and making plans for how we can adapt as these trends continue. We do feel that it is the things we put in place and the cooperation that people have given us that has led us to the numbers that we've had. So stay the course. No immediate changes to local regulations are occurring. Everything that was in place yesterday is in place today and tomorrow. But we are looking at it, and we will make a determination about what those next steps. And I think that is it, other than a shout out and an agreement to say that we're very proud of our EMA office. Allison Moore and Kate Petroline do amazing work. We're very, very grateful for their partnership.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Caudle. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Well, this is certainly good news. If we must be a bit tempered over it. It was also extremely good news here yesterday that you have been awarded Woman of the Month. I can't think of anyone who could possibly be more deserving of it. But congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure I'm worthy, but thank you, and couldn't do the work I do without the team that I work with, and that includes each and every one of you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
We are so proud of you. You have no
Thank you.
idea. Beaming. We're beaming. Commissioner Githens?
No, I just want, I want Commissioner Jones to send me that link for, because I didn't see that about Ms. Caudle, but I'm very pleased and very happy. Yeah, and I'm pleased about the numbers here.
Amazing. So congratulations, Ms. Caudle. You've represented Monroe County well throughout this entire pandemic. As always, it was nothing new to us. It wasn't a surprise to us. We know how special you are, but you really shined as a gem in our community. So thank you for that. We appreciate all your hard work, and yes, everybody on your team, but team needs a leader and you're it. So thank you so much. Excellent. All right, let's move on to Ms. Moore.
Good morning.
Okay.
Thanks for having me again this morning, commissioners. I look forward to these updates, letting the public and you guys know every week what's going on in our office, and it continues to be booming with excitement and challenges, all the alike. This month has been Earthquake Awareness Month, and so it's our last mention of that, and hopefully for a long time. Hopefully we will not have any of those effects that we have had to study this month, of course, but we have now made it through the preparedness weeks and then the survival week, and now we are in the restoration week, or the recovery week of being prepared. And so I would encourage everyone to have a plan on how they can build their family back up. That is something that's, of course, very challenging to prepare for, not knowing what your situation or outcome could potentially be due to an earthquake. But I challenge you, if you have a partner or children within your family, or parents that are elder that you take care of, that you have those connections, that you have those conversations with those individuals on how and what would be best to restore if you do in fact lose your home, if they would lose their home and such. Those conversations are much easier to be had prior to a disaster. And so I encourage families to make that connection and have those discussions with loved ones prior to a disaster. And then that will complete our earthquake awareness. And next week, I will have a new topic for preparedness discussion. We do have 2 blood drives scheduled in March. There is a couple dates left, but I think I said there was a couple dates left last week. There were more like 4. I think we're down to just a couple for our March dates. And then some of those additional beyond April, May, those dates are starting to fill up as well. So co.monroe.in.us is the website you can go to get a list of all of our blood drives out through June. If there's a date that works for you, then you can hop on to the redcross.org website and register for a spot. And we encourage those that can make that donation to do so, as we still have those shortages locally here in Monroe County. I want to thank the commissioners for the honor of it being EMA week. We have been excited to work with our partners and have received numerous thank yous from some of the public and various individuals that we've been able to help. And we are very appreciative of that feedback. It's nice to get those wonderful comments, especially from the residents, thanking us for what we do, and we will continue to serve you. We are closing our warming stations today, as it is becoming more warm. That weather out is much nicer. That bitter cold is behind us, and hopefully it will stay behind us. I just want it noted that our fire departments are in fact always open. So if you have a need, whether it be for warming stations or the like, they are available and they do serve our communities. So that we're going to keep that list up of the fire departments and their addresses. We'll just take off the warming station information on our website, and that way people will have the addresses in case. Of course, our trustees' offices are on our website as well, but sometimes people just have questions and need assistance, and so we'll keep that information readily available for our public to know where those stations are in fact located if they might need anything. Of course, our office is always willing to assist with any need that individuals have, and we can always point them in the right direction as well. We have the Monroe Alert System. It is continuing to grow and grow. More people are signing up every week for that system. We've gotten a lot of phone calls about people wanting to kind of change things around. Maybe they register for certain weather events and they want to switch those. Everybody can access that. When you do sign up, you get a username and a password. And then if you happen to forget that password, you can say forgot password. If you go back into that megaphone, it will help you make those changes. But we are also willing to help, but we would encourage anybody to try to make those changes for themselves first. And then the only other report I have is with the disaster declaration. After it got fully signed, we did upload that with the state. We are gathering those numbers for Monroe County. We have to hit $507,000 in expenses in order for us to be able to submit paperwork to the state. I think we're going to be really close to hitting those numbers. I know there are several other counties that are also submitting numbers to the state. What we're still hoping for is then the state, once they get all these different counties and all their numbers, will come back and they will declare the disaster. We can push it through with FEMA. We will not hit the threshold though. So, I did say last week we can do it. We can do it, but there's no way we will be able to hit that threshold unless the state does in fact declare that disaster. So at this point, they have not. I feel like with other states in the detrimental situations that they're in, it's very unlikely that Indiana will in fact declare that disaster, but we will do our best to get all of our numbers in and submit that paperwork and make that request to the state just for our county so that we can hopefully get funding back. I'm not as hopeful this week as I was last, but we will of course continue to work for our partners and try our best to get them funding reimbursement. And that's all I have.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Just keeping my fingers crossed for the disaster declaration. It would be nice to get those reimbursements.
Yeah. Commissioner Giffens?
Yeah, I was looking at the weather coming up, and it is nice that we're not going to be facing severe cold again. Looks like, at least not over the next 10 days or so. So thank you to all the fire departments for making those warming stations available.
Absolutely. I should mention, because we have the warm weather, there is that possibility for flooding. We have been prepared. We've had several conversations with our partners to be prepared. We have those high water, road closed signs ready, and I'm sure Ms. Ridge will talk about that. We do have sandbags readily available for the public if they might in fact need those. And our stormwater, of course, is prepared and have worked with us to let us know right away if roads get overflow of water and such, for us to let our first responders know. So we are being prepared for what's coming next, and hopefully that will miss us. But
It's great. I was actually just going to ask you about that. So perfect timing. This is what happens when you work together for so long, right?
That's right. We're on the same path. That's good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. We appreciate you and all your hard work, and happy Emergency Management Week.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's see what we have from Ms. Ridge. Good morning.
Good morning. The snow is melting, which is a good thing. But that means water and moisture causes potholes. So we still have on our website that you can go to there to report any potholes, or you can call the Highway Garage at 812-825-5355 to report them. That's what we will be doing. We're hauling in sand. We will still continue to haul in sand and fill back up the barn, even if it's for next year. We order salt. You have to order that in advance for the upcoming year, but hopefully we are out of the salt and sand situations at this point. Other than that, the guys put in a lot of long hours. Couldn't be more thankful for them. The management team at the Highway Garage is unbelievable. They watch every single weather app that there is to stay ahead of the game, whether it be snowstorm or if it's a thunderstorm or flooding. So they are on top of the game without a doubt, 24/7. Jason and Jody and Toby out there, I couldn't ask for a better group out there. They stay up all hours of the night to watch the radar and know when to bring in those guys and when not to. And they made the best calls throughout this winter. Some I didn't agree with, I'll be honest. I questioned some of them, but totally supported them. And they always made the right call. And it's not always going to be that way, but this winter, to me, they did remarkable. They run the show out there. They work really close with the sheriff's department and what needs in areas that need special attention. And so I just wanted to give them a big kudos today, finishing up hopefully the winter months. We will move straight into summer storms, spring storms, flooded areas, and then move into paving and then start that circle again. But Monroe County did submit in the last NOFA call for 2026. Yeah, 5 years from now, we have to plan ahead for bridges replacements. So Monroe County did get awarded for the Baby Creek Bridge on Monday. So that's a $1.6 million construction project. So we will get that going. And then the next couple of weeks, we should hear about the last call for the community crossing. So keeping our fingers crossed for that, for a paving project and 2 bridge replacements of replacement and a deck overlay. And other than that, that's kind of what we're working on. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Ridge. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Well, just once again, you all have just been remarkable, and thank you so much to the crew and all the work they've done. And I know it's a lot of overtime, and they must get really worn out and probably pretty hungry, but they stay out there and keep doing it. So that's highly appreciated by the entire community.
And they are very thankful for the support you have given them. You supplied them with pizza on a long night and breakfast the next morning. And not many of them that's been around has ever really known that to happen in the last few years. So they are very thankful. I hope you got the thank you card from the crew that they all signed. So they just really wanted to show their appreciation of support from the commissioner's office. And so, yeah, and you know, when you stop and think about it, and they're working those long hours, they're away from their families. They can't go home and shovel their driveways and take care of their families and do those kind of things that that keeps them away from their families for, you know, a couple days at a time, 2 to 3 days. So it's a huge hardship for their families to take too. So I appreciate all their families putting up with having to work those long hours also.
You, Commissioner Gissens?
Yeah, what's amazing to me is how quickly they shift gears. I remember after the tornado hit in 2019, they were out there clearing the roads, cutting down the trees, moving the brush, doing whatever it took. And they do the potholes, then they do the paving, then they do I mean, it's just amazing how they shift gears and just turn on a dime when it's needed. So they really are doing a great job. And congratulations on the funding for the Baby Creek Bridge.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's huge. And we had a really good work session with the council last night about the stormwater fees. So that will be coming up on our future agenda as well. So we appreciate all of the work that goes into keeping all those moving parts going and getting all that funding secured. So excellent work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Is there any other department head that wishes to offer an update? Look at my list here. I don't see any. So with that, we'll go on to our next item, which is public comment. Public comment is reserved for items that are not on the agenda. Time limit is 3 minutes per person. And when you are making your comment at about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you will hear a tone.
Perfect timing. Miss Dayton, you're amazing. And when you hear that tone, that means you have 30 seconds left to finish your comment. The same is also true when we take public comment on items later on our agenda. So with that, let's see if there's anyone that wishes to offer public comment. I see Frank Peacock. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, commissioners. I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out today. My name is Frank Peacock. I'm the Executive Director for the South Central Community Action Program, and the Commissioner's Office has held a position on our SCAP Board of Directors for many years. So that seat, as you may know, is now vacant. Most recently, it was held by Stacey Jane Rhodes. She was appointed in 2016 and resigned her position in September of 2020. On February 8th, 2021, the SCAP board voted in favor of Mr. Jim Whitlatch becoming a SCAP board member and holding the position of the Monroe County Public Sector seat, which is dedicated to the Monroe County Commissioners. So February 19th, Mr. Whitlatch submitted his Monroe County Government Boards and Commissions application to the Board of Commissioners. I'm not sure if you had time to review that or not, but I come before you today to request that the Board of Commissioners appoint Mr. Jim Whitlatch as their representative to the SCAP Board of Directors.
Great, thank you so much. We appreciate you attending today, and we will definitely look for that application. And if we don't, we'll send Let's see if there's any comment on an item that is not on our agenda. Okay. Seeing none, we'll come back to our agenda. Item 5, please.
Move approval of the minutes for February 17th, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections from the board? I didn't see any when I reviewed them. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Freeman. And Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the approval of the minutes, February 17th, 2021?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Githens?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Great, thank you so much. Our next item, please.
Approval of the claims docket, accounts payable, February 24th, 2021, and payroll, February 26th, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Good morning, Mr. Miller.
Good morning. The total for claims was $4,227,775.38. $3,778,001.65 was for lit distribution for February. Of that total, $788,266.06 was specifically for public safety lit, followed by $110,037.45 for FNA DZ LLC for tax sale surplus redemption interest items. And finally, $45,000 was for Monroe County CASA Inc. For February 2021 pass-through. As far as payroll was concerned, the total was $1,664,161.95. $1,170,400.98 were for the direct costs. $493,760.97 were for indirect costs. And there was quite a bit of highway over.
And on approval of the claims docket, accounts payable, February 24, 2021, and payroll, February 26, 2021.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Githens?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to new business, please.
Move to approve Justin Crossley Production Design Agreement, Fund Name, Lit Special Services and Runaway Homeless Youth, Fund Number 1114 and 8120 in the amount of $8,000. Should I read how this is split between the funds?
It's not necessary.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Great, thank you so much. Ms. Nasby, good morning. Tell us about it. Oh, we can't hear you.
You may need to tell Zoom which mic to use. It might have selected the wrong one.
There you go, at the bottom of the screen there.
Can you hear me anymore?
A little bit, kind of quiet though.
Any better?
It's pretty quiet.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Wonderful. I sound like a commercial now. Can you hear me now? I apologize. It's always good to start with a tech problem first thing in the morning. Hi, again, I am Bridget Nasby. I am the Shelter Outreach and Safe Place Coordinator for Youth Services Bureau. Today, I'm requesting a signature for a contract with Justin Crossley Production Design to create 3 high-quality videos for YSB to use in multiple virtual capacities. The videos we hope will expand the visibility and outreach capability of YSB. Our goal is, for the project is to open the doors to YSB safely right now through the community through virtual content. It will include a virtual tour of YSB, a video explaining who we are and what it means to be a Youth Services Bureau, and a welcome video specifically to our youth shelter. And the goal here is to really create a way for youth to be introduced to the shelter if they're going to be placed with us, so they know what to expect before they even step through our doors. Another is for the community to be introduced to our new space, because right as we finished our new building, as you know, the pandemic started. So we have a lot of space we'd like to use once safely to do so for the community to take ownership of and to be able to use. And for our community members just to really get to expand on their knowledge of our facility and our programs, because we do have a lot more than the youth shelter. And so we want to make sure everybody has access to that. And then I will just say a huge thank you to Ms. Rice for really getting this contract together. Legalese is not my language, and I do a lot more standard contracts. So I just want to thank her for working with Justin Crossley Production Design to put this together to get this done.
Great, thank you so much. Let's see if there are comments or questions. Commissioner Jones?
It's wonderful that you're going to hopefully be getting a bit more public exposure, and the public will have a better understanding of what you do.
Thank you. Yes, that's what we hope for.
Commissioner Giffens?
Yeah, I have 2 things. First of all, I'm pleased that we're able to have this contract with a local person. I've seen some of his other work, and it's very, very good quality. But also, where, like the Who We Are video, where all will that be shown? What kind of platforms will those go up on?
So for all of our videos, what I'm hoping to really do here is, one, to have it available to the public via our website, but then through all of our social media channels as well. So we do Facebook, so having it there. This will also be integrated into probably any of our public presentations that we're using. And that'll probably be mostly me, because I do a lot of our outreach, but then also with our prevention coordinator, Stephanie Solomon, as well. It'll be a real tool for youth and for service providers alike.
Great, thank you so much, and great idea to create these videos. So it's exciting. We look forward to seeing them.
Yeah, we're really excited. So we'll get started hopefully right after this meeting.
Nice. All right, let's see if there is any public comment on this agenda item. Just raise the hand at the bottom of the screen. And I do not see any. So Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the motion to approve Justin Crossley Production Design Agreement?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion is approved 3-0.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, next item, please.
Move to approve DocuSign Inc. agreement to provide electronic signature services. Fund name, Cumulative Capital Development. Fund number 1138 in the amount of $4,540.
Second.
Great. We have a motion and a second, and we have Mr. Evans. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. DocuSign is a company that provides electronic signature services. So essentially, if you have a packet of contracts and supporting documents that need to be signed, you can put it together online and then send a link to a person or a group of people, and they open up the packet, and just like you had a physical packet with the little post-it note arrows saying sign here, that all happens in an electronic environment. Hold on. Sorry about that.
You're not allowed to have technological problems.
Well, no, I just happened to accidentally hit the button. Anyway, so I was originally approached for this service by one of the judges. There's a family law mediation office that we run here at the county. As part of that, they could definitely use a service like this because most of those cases have lots of documents that need to be signed, and getting everyone together to do a signature is always challenging. So this will make that a lot easier. In talking about the service with Ms. Purdy, we talked about a couple other uses that we could have around the county. So instead of just getting a basic account for the mediation office, we got a corporate-wide account. So there's a couple other uses we're going to try to use this for, and hopefully it will be useful to us.
Yeah, if I may just kind of jump in. This is actually what the state of Indiana uses and what I've been using with the grants. And I see this as being a real kind of groundbreaker for us in that it's going to make it so much easier to get signatures on documents. We can do all of your documents, like for instance, in a this meeting, and have it sent out so that you all can sign individually, and it all is all in one document, comes back and gets sent to Anita and then can be recorded. So I see this being really helpful for the county. And then I also see, we also have a number of forms that we all have to sign at the beginning of the year that frankly gets kind of pushed down on my priority list. But this is something that Alyssa in the auditor's office can use. And then she can hunt us down individually as she needs for those of us who are bad about doing what we're supposed to do. So I just wanted to put that in there. And I also want to thank Eric for taking this up and running with it, because I really appreciate it. I just wanted to put that in there.
All right, thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, this does sound like it'll make the county considerably more efficient and save all of us some time also. So I think it's a great idea. I see the NDOT is just requiring that of highway. So this is a good time for us to be getting involved in it. And I just want to say I'm so glad I'm not the only person who pushes the wrong button.
I've got exponentially more buttons than anyone does, so the likelihood of me pushing the wrong button is high.
Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, last week we heard about county setting goals to reduce pollution, air pollution, CO2 production kind of thing. And not having to travel will mean that this is just another small step toward making some of that happen. So I'm fully in support. I did see that it says an e-signature envelope allowance of 750. Does that mean 750 employees can fit under this program?
No. So with this corporate account, anyone within the county can use this service. The 750 envelopes is the amount of groups of contracts that can be used. So we did a basic count up when we were talking about how many envelopes to get. And I think, realistically, we may use between 400 and 500, but we wanted to get a little bit above that. If we do use more than 750, obviously they don't cut us off, but then we need to basically go and re-up and buy another pack of envelopes from them.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great. I was wondering where I heard this name before. I was like, I knew this sounds really familiar, and I read through everything, and then I was like, oh, the state. But I'm assuming that there was an issue with the way the state administered this versus the way that the software is supposed to work. Maybe Angie can speak to that. But the state made a mess of, honestly, a mess of this. So is there a way to prevent that from happening?
So I think the biggest and the easiest way to prevent that from happening is communication and making sure that everybody who's using it knows and understands how to use it. The state, well, there was just a complete lack of communication from everybody that was trying to using it. So I think we can definitely do better.
Okay. I just want to make sure we bear in mind and learn from others and not send people 12 accounts.
Exactly.
I would point out that as part of this contract, there's an onboarding service. So when we start using the service, there's a consultant that will hold some training sessions for us. And so hopefully that will minimize any issues.
Oh, that's awesome. And I don't know if you can answer this, Ms. Purdy, but I'm assuming that if we still need to sign something that needs to be notarized, we still need to sign something in person to be notarized. I'm assuming that.
That is my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. All right. Let's see if there is any public comment on this item. Just click raise hand at the bottom of the screen. All right, I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on approving the DocuSign Inc. agreement for electronic signature services?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll move on to the next item, please.
Move to approve United Way of Monroe County Grant Agreement. Fund name, County General, Fund number 1000 in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
Right. We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Ms. Rice, who has still a little snow on the ground.
Yes, I do. I live out here in the woods. Look, I have quite a bit of snow, actually. That's okay. It's quickly melting. So thank you for entertaining this grant agreement today. I want to just explain quickly what it is. It's a $5,000 grant to United Way. United Way and the Community Foundation are leading the effort to coordinate and collaborate with local governments, including township, county, and city, to address the issue of housing insecurity. And it can be a full-time job. It takes a lot of time to coordinate all the various stakeholders. And what United Way has done is they've hired a recent grad of the O'Neill School of Public Affairs. She has a master's in public administration and is familiar with this topic. And they have hired her on a contractual basis to coordinate. and help us plan. And so this $5,000 is Monroe County's contribution towards those to the cost of that contract. So I'm happy to entertain any questions. I know that all of you guys are aware of the coordinated efforts and you've been involved in those and participating in those yourselves. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about this effort.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Rice. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, this community is really fortunate in that there are so many different people working with so many different agencies to try to help out people who are in one way or another in need. One of the difficulties with that many agencies is that they can't all communicate with each other. And so these things don't necessarily happen in the most efficient manner. United Way and the Community Foundation are just ideal partners for this. They work at this kind of thing all the time, know how to do it. We don't have that area of expertise. We very much want to help, but aren't experts. So this really is an ideal solution. And I know Ms. Rice worked really hard to come up with this plan and to put it together. And so I want to thank you very much.
Happy to help.
Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, we know also that this is not just Monroe County problem. This really is a regional kind of thing. And I think that our United Way takes a regional approach. The Community Foundation has done stuff on regional initiatives. And so I think that those two, as Commissioner Jones said, are uniquely positioned to lead this effort. But there also have been any number of people who've stepped up to say, we want to be part of this. And that's been encouraging also.
Yeah, and and I appreciate everybody's work to provide this this step forward. We can become paralyzed by analysis, and I think it's important that we are dealing with the short-term crisis and we're planning for the long term, and that's what's really been needed, and I think this is a great move. So we appreciate all the folks who are involved and working on this day to day. There's a lot to consider and a lot to do, but I have a great deal of hope for the future, and we appreciate your help on pulling this together, Ms. Rice, as always. Let's see if there are any public comments on this item. And I don't see any. So Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the United Way of Monroe County grant agreement?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we will move on to item D, please.
To approve a letter of agreement with Monroe County Solid Waste Management Green Business. Fund name, County General, fund number 1000, in the amount of $3,200.
Second. All right, we have a motion and we have a second, Ms. Purdy.
Yeah, good morning. This is basically a housekeeping item, as it is the continuation of an agreement that you have had with our Monroe County Solid Waste Management District, and it's for the removal and recycling of our paper products. While I have you guys and everybody else, I'd also like to recommend to anyone who's interested in learning about recycling, conservation of our natural resources, to visit the district's website, and that's at gogreendistrict.com. There is a plethora of information right there at your fingertips. So if you're interested in learning more about being environmentally conservative, please visit their site. And this is going back to our housekeeping item. They're always very good about coming and picking up our paper products for us.
Great, thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
pleased that we do this.
Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, I was digging through the contract and make sure that that included things like the cardboard and those things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's all of our recyclables, yes, but there is mostly paper, assuming. Especially with fewer folks working in the office to create the bottles and can kind of recycling waste. Yeah, so very good. And we appreciate their excellent service at the Monroe County Solid Waste District. So let's see if anyone has any public comment on this item. Again, raise your hand click on the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen, and we will call on you. And I do not see any hands raised. So with that, Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the letter of agreement with Monroe County Solid Waste Management Green Business Network?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll move on to item E, please.
Move to approve E&B paving agreement for Community Crossings Paving Project. Fund name, Motor Vehicle Highway, fund number 1176, in the amount of $1,231,530.
Second.
Right, we have a motion and we have a second, and we have Ms. Ridge to tell us all about it, please.
Good morning. So we had sealed bids. We opened those. We awarded it to the low bidder of E&B Paving. So this is actually to approve that contract with them. This is through the Community Crossings Matching Grant Program that was we submitted in October of 2020. It's our goal to have these projects to start anytime after May 1st. We've already sent in for the NDOT match, which is $615,765. And then we'll be going to, once we receive those funds, we will be going to the council to allocate those funds into the bituminous line, and then also our additional for our match. So yeah,
great.
Excited for these paving projects.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Ridge. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, not at this time.
Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, it sounds strange to hear somebody say I'm excited for paving projects. I've got to say, Ms. Ridge. I mean,
for her.
But no, another job well done, because you're the one that went out and got that matching grant. So thank you.
Yeah. So the projects are Anderson Road, Shiloh Road to Low Gap Road, Corey Lane, Bloomfield Road, 2nd Street to 3rd Street, Old State Road 37 North, and Ratliff, Thomas, and Hart Street Roads. Yeah.
And actually the Ratliff goes to Loudon Road. That was my mistake. So it's a little farther than I have on this sheet.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for the clarification. Excellent work as always. And let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Just click on raise hand at the bottom of the screen. And I do not see any hands raised. Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the motion to approve the E&B paving agreement for community crossings?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Githens?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
All right, thank you so much. And we'll move on to the next item.
To approve ICSOI, maybe supplemental number 6 for Bicentennial Pathway. Fund names, fund number 1138. In the amount of 15.
Motion and a second. Ms. Ridge, please tell us about that.
So this was to actually parcel 25 and 26 and an addition of parcel 28. This has to go through the right-of-way engineering and then also the acquisition work to be included in this. We're actually really, I think we had 26 parcels on this, and we are really close to being done with right-of-way on this. So thrilled to get this. It's gone very smoothly and worked great with the property owners up there. So I think we only have just a minimal, maybe less than 5 to 7 left to acquire. So it's gone very smoothly on this project.
That's great news. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I was just wondering what the timeline is on this.
So we moved that due to the delay in other circumstances of when we changed this project a couple of years ago. The letting has now been changed to the first week of October. So we would be looking for at construction more in 2022. We also want to, since the overall project does not include paving that section of road. So as working with the highway department, we want to utilize paving into that either through community crossings or through our own funding. This is basically to widen the road and improve all the drainage and the pipes from the Bloomington city limits, which is about Audubon Drive down to below Fire Station Hill is what we call it. So we want to coordinate both of those things, but we'd be looking at a construction year 2022 for this project at this point.
I also would like to know how you do pronounce the name of this company.
I always pronounce it IXOYE.
Okay.
It's the best I got. I do believe it is biblical. So there is a biblical history to that name for why it was chosen. It's my understanding.
Commissioner Githens?
No questions. Thank you.
All right. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Just raise the hand at the bottom of the screen. And I do not see any hands raised. So with that, Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on supplemental number 6 for Bicentennial Pathway?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion is approved 3-0.
Excellent, thank you. And next item, please.
Move to approve Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, Inc. agreement for Sample Road Reconstruction Project Phase 1 and 2. Fund name, local road and street, fund number 1169, in the amount of $1,145,000.
Second.
Great, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge?
Sorry, I was trying to get some numbers in line here. We are in Sample Road, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So to Butler, Fairman, Seifert.
Yeah. Okay. So the total between those is $1,145,000. It is actually an 80-20 split. So the county portion of that would be $229,000 for both phases of that project. Phase 1 is I-69 to Old 37 North, and that amount is $470,000 for that construction inspection services. And on the west side, Phase 2, which runs from Bottom Road to I-69, is $675,000 for construction inspection service. Again, this is 80-20 split. We paid the portion up front 100% when we're invoiced, and then we've received the 80% reimbursement from NDOT. NDOT did step up in the last couple weeks, and we had a lengthy meeting of going through all the numbers since Sample Road just got done with right-of-way acquisitions, contract updates, construction inspection updates. So they did allocate more funds to this project on both sides just to bring it all to an 80-20 from construction inspection, and utilities. So the county would not be out more than their 20% through the construction of this project. So a big thank you to NDOT in helping the county out on that. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. A timeline. The letting for phase 1 is April 7th. The letting for phase 2 is May 5th. So it'll be great to get those going. I would say more construction in 2022 because we'll have to give the utilities time to relocate their lines.
Great. Thank you so much. I know there's been a lot of scrambling to get us where we are today to get moving on this project.
Yes, thank you for your signatures. I appreciate that so much. Our deadline was really technically Monday night of getting everything to NDOT to keep on these lettings. So you guys stopping in and getting things signed, I believe yesterday. I think I had one signature to do last night, and we got it all in and we can meet those letting dates. And we really didn't think it was going to happen. So kudos to you guys for being available to get those signatures, and Angie working with me. I know I am bugged everybody, to Dave Schilling, to Angie, to you guys, of tracking down signatures and getting notarized things done from the legal department. So I appreciate everyone's effort, because these would not have made it to letting without everybody making it happen. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. Commissioner Jones, comments, questions?
Yeah, I know that Bottom Road used to be a real flooding hazard. And is that anywhere where that happens, is that at all a part of this project, or?
So Bottom Road and Simpson Chapel Road, basically, turns into Simpson Chapel Road. You know how county roads change names at an intersection. So that's not more of our flooding part. It'd be more south of there, down towards Wiley Road, in those bottoms. And then you have a different stretch of more north of this area, kind of basically where we're going to be doing the Mount Tabor Road and Bottom Road bridge replacement. That section of Bottom Road, when you go a little bit west towards Liberty Hollow, is a big flooding section.
Thank you.
They call it Bottom Road for a reason, right?
Commissioner Gibbons?
Yeah, I'm glad that NDOT stepped up and agreed to an 80-20 split, since part of the need for this upgrade was related to I-69 going through. And so I think it's really important that they did step up this way. But also, having driven some of those curves on Sample Road, I'm glad we're making it a safer place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not it was never intended to be a connection between Old 37 North and an interchange with the interstate highway. That was not in its intention when it was first built. So we appreciate all the hard work, getting the funding, getting this all together. I know it's going to be disruptive for the folks out there, but we have to do this. This is a must do, and we appreciate all that's gone into making this happen. Let's see if there are comments or questions from anyone in the public. Just raise the hand. Hit the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen. And I do not see any. So, Mr. Cockrell, will you please call the roll on the agreement for Sample Road reconstruction project, phase 1 and 2?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Githens?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So we don't have any appointments today. Commissioner Githens, do you want to explain to folks why we're wearing black today at our meeting?
Yes, thank you. We're wearing black to show the darkness facing Indiana public schools and teachers, and we're asking everyone to take action. At the state legislature, this is a budget year, and so this is when they determined the money that will go out to our public schools for the next 2 years. Our governor has said that Indiana is a state that works, and if we want to pull in new employers, we have to provide healthy, educated employees and a good infrastructure, and we're not going to be able to do that without good public schools. So I think we can and should be doing better, and I hope people will contact their state legislators to support better funding for our public education system. So we're wearing black today to show our support.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a couple of other quick things, just a reminder to folks that we have extended the deadline for businesses and social service organizations to be eligible to receive CARES grant funding. And to apply, the deadline is through on the emergency management website through co.monroe.in.us. Please contact your trustees as we've worked with council to provide additional funding to ensure that our residents are able to keep their utilities on and to remain housed during this pandemic and all of its financial consequences. So every county resident has a township trustee. Please contact them. They are here to help you, and they're doing a fabulous job throughout this entire pandemic. I don't see any other items for announcements. Anything from either of my colleagues? Okay, so with that, we're going to adjourn the regular meeting. Our next meeting is March 3rd, same Zoom channel, same time. And we are going to come back in at 11:15-ish to have our work session agenda for the commissioners. So with that, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.